Good morning, you are watching News i24/7. Today's headlines are: Prime Minister Imran Khan on Wednesday said the Ravi River Urban Project, besides its environmental benefits, was expected to generate billion revenue for the country. The project will not only prove beneficial for Lahore, but for the entire country in addressing the environmental and financial problems, he said at the launch of the country's first ever smart forest near Shikarpura under the Ravi Urban Project. The Prime Minister said the project would stop the sewage water seep into Punjab's River Ravi, which ultimately flowed up to the River Indus passing through Sindh. Under the Ravi Urban Project, he said, around 10 million trees would be planted besides construction of 3 barrages at the river. Filtration plants will ensure provision of clean water to public, he added. He asked Chief Minister Panjan Sadar Usman Buzda to remain undeterred amidst challenges, and work towards timely completion of the project. Imran Khan termed water scarcity, deforestation and glacier melting biggest challenge for the country, which was among the 10 most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. President Kos discuss regional developments, national security matters. President Dr. Arif Alvi and Chief of Army Staff Kos, General Jaiv Bajwa on Wednesday discussed regional developments and matters of national security. President Alvi, who visited the General Headquarters was apprised on the operational preparedness of Pakistan Army, a press release issued by the Inter-Services Public Relations ISP. Here said. A briefing on cyber security was also given by Communication & Information Technology Branch. The President acknowledged unparalleled contribution and sacrifices rendered by Pakistan Army towards the country's external and internal security. He also commended Army's prowess in the field of information technology and coordination mechanisms with other services/stakeholders. Earlier upon arrival, the President was received by Chief of Army Staff General Jaiv Bajwa. The President was presented Guard of Honor. The President laid floral wreath at Martyrs Monument and offered fatia. Imran Putin discuss Afghan situation. Bilateral ties in phone conversation. Prime Minister Imran Khan and Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a telephonic conversation on Wednesday, exchanged views on the evolving situation in Afghanistan and bilateral relations. The Prime Minister, who received a telephone call from the President of Russian Federation, stressed that a peaceful, secure and stable Afghanistan was vitally important for Pakistan and regional stability. Besides ensuring safety, security and protection of rights of Afghans, an inclusive political settlement was the best way forward, he added. The Prime Minister underscored that the international community must stay positively engaged in support of the people of Afghanistan, to help address the humanitarian needs and ensure economic sustenance. He underscored the importance of coordinated approaches in addressing the evolving situation and noted that Pakistan attached high importance of the role of the Troika Plus format. The Prime Minister expressed satisfaction at the upward trajectory of Pakistan-Russia relations, with increased high-level exchanges and growing cooperation in diverse fields. He reiterated the government's resolve to strengthen trade relations, as well as bilateral collaboration in energy sector, including early realization of the Pakistan Stream gas pipeline project. The two leaders agreed to closely cooperate within the Shanghai Cooperation Organization scope for promoting regional peace and security. The Prime Minister reiterated his invitation to President Putin to visit Pakistan. Foreign Minister Makhdoom Shah Mahmood Qureshi called on President of Uzbekistan Shavkat Mirziyoyev in Tashkent on Wednesday. He conveyed warm greetings from Prime Minister Imran Khan, and referring to the Prime Minister's visit to Tashkent in July 2021, reiterated commitment to enhance bilateral ties in all areas of mutual interests. Foreign Minister Qureshi apprised the President of Uzbekistan on the latest situation in Afghanistan, and expressed hope that the Afghan leaders would work out an inclusive political solution which would lead to stronger trade and economic ties, and strengthen linkages between the people in the region. President of Uzbekistan Shavkat Mirziyoyev welcomed the foreign minister, and termed relations with Pakistan important. He remarked that Uzbekistan was keen to develop ties with Pakistan in all areas, particularly in transport and connectivity. The Uzbek president concurred that regional connectivity, trade and economy will be further enhanced with the peace in Afghanistan. He also looked forward to meeting Prime Minister Imran Khan on the sidelines of forthcoming SCO summit in Dushanbe next month to discuss issues of mutual interest. Foreign Minister Qureshi is visiting neighbors of Afghanistan to discuss regional situation, particularly the latest situation in Afghanistan, and evolve coordinated approach. NSA Kazakh Security Council Sesi discuss evolving situation in Afghanistan. National Security Advisor Commons Dr. Mueed Yusuf Wednesday discussed regional security with particular emphasis on the evolving situation in Afghanistan, in a video call with Secretary of the Security Council of the Republic of Kazakhstan Asat Isakeshev. During the call, both leaders discussed matters of mutual interest and agreed to remain engaged in that regard while reiterating the importance of peaceful political settlement and all-inclusive setup in Kabul, said a media release. Dr. Mueed hoped that the Afghan soil would not be used against other countries. The two sides also discussed bilateral relations, including trade and economic relations and regional connectivity. Both agreed to work actively on all economic and trade engagement forums like Joint Business Council, joint working groups and intergovernmental commission that would enhance bilateral trade relations between the two countries. They also discussed direct commercial flights between Pakistan and Kazakhstan, which would be beneficial for the peoples and businesses of the two countries. Moreover, matters related to defense cooperation also came under discussion. The two leaders also agreed to streamline coordination between their offices and decided to connect regularly on matters of mutual importance. Both leaders expressed satisfaction over the excellent bilateral relations between Pakistan and Kazakhstan. State to continue protecting rights of minorities enshrined in Pacts of Riyadh-e-Medina, Constitution. Dr. Alvi President Dr. Arif Alvi Wednesday said Pakistan will continue to fulfill its responsibility to protect rights of minorities as enshrined in the Pacts of Riyadh-e-Medina, statements of Quaid-e-Azam Mohammed Ali Jinnah, and provisions of the country's constitution. Speaking at a ceremony here to celebrate National Minorities Day, he said government's focus was to promote rights of minorities and protect deprived sections of society. He said Islam stressed on peace, tolerance, harmony and rights of minorities, adding, "We have to continue protecting rights of the minorities." The president said he had written on Charter of Muslim-Christian Harmony, and his views were based on the pacts signed by Prophet Muhammad in the state of Medina, and subsequently by his caliphs. The pacts set the standards for the relations between the Muslims and the non-Muslims, he added. Dr. Alvi noted that Prophet Muhammad in his teachings made it clear that rights of all humans were equal, and Pact of Hudaybiyah was the highest example of the process of conciliation in a society. Pakistani nation could become more united by ending all forms of animosity and sectarianism, adding state had an important role to play to eliminate hatred from society, and this effort will be a continuous and ongoing process, he observed. Interfaith harmony was part of the vision of Prime Minister Imran Khan, and he led the effort at the international level against Islamophobia, he added. United States committee members for bringing Ghani to justice. For taking on 2 ranking members of the United States Committees on Oversight and Reforms and National Security have demanded of the United States government to bring former Afghan President Ashraf Ghani to justice for allegedly dealing with the United States funds intended for the Afghan people. Ghani had fled the country with enormous sums of cash totaling well over $100 million. James Comer and Glenn Grothman, 2 ranking members of Committee on Oversight and Reform and Subcommittee on National Security respectively, said in a letter addressed to Merrick B. Garland, Attorney General, U.S. Department of Justice. However, reports state that if true, this was not the dignified exit of a benevolent head of state, but that of a coward and grifter. The United States must do everything in its power to seize any illicitly gained funds that were corruptly embezzled by President Ghani. If he diverted funds from their intended purposes, the US should bring him to justice, they stressed. The ousted President Ashraf Ghani fled Afghanistan on August 15, precipitating the rapid collapse of the Afghan government in Kabul in the face of Taliban's blitz. Not only did President Ghani flee Afghanistan prematurely, and contributed to the rapid fall of the American-backed democratic government in Kabul, but he brought with him duffel bags full of cash totaling $1 million, they added. Current economic situation revived confidence of businesses. Taring Minister for Finance and Revenue Shaukat Taring on Wednesday said that the current economic situation had revived the confidence of business community for rapid economic growth in the country. The minister briefed the members of Monetary and Fiscal Policies Coordination Board on the current economic situation of the country, and highlighted the major incentives given in the budget, due to which confidence of businessmen was improving, and the economy was moving towards stability, said a press release issued here. A meeting of the board was held under the chairmanship of the Minister for Finance and Revenue, Shaukat Taring here. Other members of the board present in the meeting were the advisor to the PM on Commerce and Investment Abdul Razak Dawood, Deputy Chairman Planning Commission Muhammad Janzab Khan, Governor SBP Dr. Roza Bakaya, Dr. Asat Zaman and senior officials of the Finance Division. The minister also informed that all key economic indicators relating to the real sector of the economy, fiscal sector, monetary and external sectors were going well, and the government was proactively executing all policy measures to achieve the major socio-economic targets of the current fiscal year. He also highlighted the possible risks to the economic activities and strategy to counter these risks, which were appreciated by the members of the board. Secretary Finance Yusuf Khan briefed the members on budgetary allocations for various activities, and informed about the ways and means to maintain the fiscal discipline. He also shared the strategy to contain the non-development expenditure, with the focus to optimally utilize resources of the country and improve the service delivery at large for the common man. The Governor SBP informed the board about the monetary policy stance. He shared the analysis of the SBP on policy rate. ECC approves technical supplementary grant United States $150 Mountain Mo. For COVID-19, the Economic Coordination Committee, EC, Wednesday approved a technical supplementary grant amounting to $24,555 million for procurement of vaccine for COVID-19, including transportation and handling charges, in order to meet the target of 85 million population to be vaccinated by the end of year 2021. Federal Minister for Finance and Revenue, Shaukat Taring, presiding over the meeting of ECC, considered and approved a request for a technical supplementary grant COMETS by the National Disaster Management Authority (COMANDMO) for extending humanitarian assistance to Syria in form of edible items. The ECC allowed procurement of edible items through MOFA, Pakistan mission in Syria, 200 tons each of rice and flour amounting to approximately $44.24 million. The Ministry of National Food Security and Research presented a summary before the ECC to waive off all applicable taxes/duties on the import of 12 drones, donated by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs, MARA, China, for controlling desert locust in Pakistan. The committee approved the summary for exemption of all applicable duties/taxes in this regard. The ECC approved the summary tabled by the Ministry of Industries and Production for import of 200,000 mt of sugar for maintaining strategic reserves. The Secretary, Ministry of Industries and Production, briefed the committee about previous tenders floated for the purchase of sugar in the international market. He also apprised about cancellation of previous tenders due to volatility in the prices of commodities in the international market, particularly due to ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. He further apprised that rising transportation cost and petroleum prices had contributed significantly into international price hike in food commodities. Thanks for watching News i24/7. For more news, visit our website on www.newsi24 247.tv or follow us on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook.